Hello there. Today we will teach you how to connect to IRIS CRM through OpenAPI, and retrieve residuals report data from the CRM using simple REST calls. We'll start by creating a new API token, which is used to authenticate your API requests. The API token can be generated on your user settings page. Click on your username in IRIS CRM, and then click Settings. Now open the API Settings tab, and click this button. Now enter a name for your token, and click Add New Token. Congratulations! You have just generated your API token. You can now copy the token and close the pop-up window. If needed, you can repeat the process to create additional tokens for different usage scenarios. Let's use the new API token now, to send a few API requests using the Postman API development tool. We'll start with a function to retrieve residuals summary data. Here we selected the GET method, and entered the request URL, which retrieves the residuals data for August of 2020. In the Headers tab, we added a new key called the XAPI key, and set its value to the API token we generated earlier. We can now send the API request by clicking the Send button. Here is the JSON response, which shows the residuals summary data for the specified year and month. Note that the response includes the IDs of the various processors, which you can use as a parameter when sending requests for processor-specific data. Let's send another request now. This time we'll pull the residuals details with merchant rows for the Fiserv processor. We will use the GET method for this request too, and the appropriate URL. Note that the last part of the URL contains the processor ID, year, and month parameters. We can also add optional parameters to the request, such as the agent ID number. After we send the request, the API call returns a JSON response showing the residuals detail with merchant rows. Finally, let's send one more request to retrieve the residuals line items for a specific merchant. We will use the GET method again, and configure the request URL to retrieve the line items for August of 2020. We will also add the DBA parameter, and set its value to the name of the merchant we're looking for. Let's send the request now. Here is the JSON response we received after sending the request, which shows the merchant's line items. To learn more about the OpenAPI, feel free to visit the API documentation page at www.iriscrm.com/API.